Today we'll build a really useful AI agent that will automatically label all of our incoming emails in our inbox. This is going to be actually very useful because anybody can use this to organize their mailbox. This agent will be able to automatically recognize the content of the emails that are coming in and automatically label them according to our predefined labels that we have in our Gmail account. All of the labels will be color coded so that way our inbox is nice and organized. I'll show you exactly step by step how to build this agent and go through all the process of organizing your inbox. We're going to build this using a great automation tool called N8N. We're going to utilize the text classifier node on N8N, which is basically an instant of LangChain. Again, if you're not familiar with these terms, don't worry. I'll walk through step by step and explain everything so that we have a good understanding of how this works, and therefore you'll be able to build your own AI agent that will be equivalent or similar to this for your own purpose. So whether you are a business that needs to be able to organize the inbox, or whether you just want to organize your personal email account, this will be very useful to you. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so as always, we'll start on our workflow. I'm using my N8N cloud account. If you don't have an account, you can sign up for a free trial. I have the link in the description below. So go ahead and do that, and you'll come here and we'll click on add workflow. So this time we're going to remove our when clicking test, because we're going to provide our own trigger, which is going to be a Gmail trigger. So that's going to be the first step. So let's go ahead and add our first step. I'm going to click on this button right here and I'm going to look for Gmail. Click on Gmail. And we're going to use a trigger. I mean, there's lots of actions here, but we're not going to use that for now. We're going to use that towards the end when we're labeling our account, but we need to start on message received. So this is going to be our trigger, right? So if you don't have a credential, let's go ahead and add that. I have already 2 credentials, but I'm going to walk through step by step. So if you've seen my previous video, please feel free to skip this so that way you can get to the next step. But this is for people who don't know how to connect their Gmail trigger. I'm going to quickly walk through step by step on how to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new credential. So there's a step-by-step guide that N8N provides, and if you click on Open Docs, it will take you through the step-by-step on how to do that, but I'm just going to quickly walk you through. So on the right-hand side, I'm going to click on Google Cloud here. You need to have a Google Cloud account. Once you create your account, if you don't have it already, you're going to come and click on Console. And you're going to come here and click on a new project. So you're going to create a new project. Obviously, I have several here, so that's why my drop down shows all these different projects, but yours is going to look blank. So you're just going to click on new project. You're going to say, and you're going to name your project. So I'm going to do N8N test 3. Organization, leave as no organization. Click on create. So now it's going to create your organization or your project. And then once you are done with that, you have to make sure that you are on the correct project. Again, if you have several projects, you're going to make sure that you're on the right one. But if this is your first project, then don't worry about selecting your correct project. It will automatically go to that project. So I'm going to click on my project, N8N test 3. So now we're going to click on API and services. All right, once you're here, you're going to come down and click on OAuth consent screen. So if this is your first time, you need to make sure you create a OAuth consent. So for the user type, if you have a Google Workspace account, you're going to click on internal. But if you have a personal, you're going to click on external. So I'm just going to click on external, click on create. App name, you can name a app here. So I'm just going to do N8N test 3. For the support email from the drop down, this will automatically pull up your email. So just select your email. Leave the logo as it is. The app domain, you don't have to worry about it. And here for authorized domain, you need to click on add domain, and you're going to add n8n.cloud. All right, so that's done. Developer contact information, select your email, click on save and continue. Don't worry about these. Save and continue. Again, save and continue for test users. For summary, back to dashboards. So now we're pretty much done with creating our OAuth consent screen. So now here's an important step. Make sure you're clicking on publish app. Otherwise, it's going to give you an error when you're going to log into your account. So you're going to click on push to production and confirm. It says verification not required, which is good to go, because again, we're using our own N8N account, so we're sure that it's verified already. Okay, so now once you're done here, you're going to come to the library and you're going to search for your Gmail API. So I'm going to search for Gmail API. Gmail API. You're going to click on enable. All right, so that's done. So now we're going to go to our credentials. We're going to click on create credentials, and you're going to select OAuth client ID. Application type, it's going to be web application. Name of the client name, you're going to do N8N test 3. Again, you can name whatever you want. So test 3. Here's the important part. In the bottom here where it says authorized redirect URIs, you're going to click on add URI. You're going to go back to your account. You're going to copy this callback URI and you're going to paste it. That's it. You're done. So you're going to click on create and you're pretty much done. So as soon as you click on your create, this is going to pop up with your client ID and your client secret. You're going to copy the client ID, go back, paste it here. You're going to copy your client's secret, go back and paste. And now that sign in with Google appears. So you're going to click on sign in with Google and this little pop-up window is going to show up. It's going to say choose the account. So choose your account. And this is where the Google says it hasn't verified this app. So don't worry about this. Just click on advanced and you're going to click on go to n8n.cloud. You're going to select all of this and you're going to continue. And you're pretty much done. As you can see in here, it says account connected. All right, so let's go back. Once you go back, your account is going to get connected. Mine, because I already have several accounts now, this Gmail account shows up. But I'm going to go ahead and actually delete some of this because I already have a ton in there. Let me get rid of this. Go back. Let me get rid of this too. All right, perfect. There you go. So you're going to select your account. All right. So for the poll times, so this is the more you have several options when it comes to this is basically trying to monitor your inbox. So you can monitor your inbox every minute, every hour, every day, whatever you prefer. And this is for when you actually activate this workflow. So that way it's automatic and it will always monitor your email. I will leave it at every minute and then later on I'll show you exactly what this means. Okay, so for the event, we're gonna select message received. You don't have a lot of options. And at the bottom, make sure you click on this because if you leave this as simplified, it's not gonna get the most proper details. It's not gonna provide the most proper details. So therefore, just make sure this is not selected. For the filters, don't worry about this for now. We'll filter our own using our text classifier. Okay, so we're pretty much done at this point. So let's go ahead and fetch a test event. Yeah, this is to make sure that your node is working. And as you can see, this looks like it's good to go. All right, cool. So for the next step, we're gonna add our text classifier agent. So you're gonna click on this plus button right here. You're gonna go to advanced AI. And in the bottom, as you can see, there are several options. We're gonna select that text classifier. So this is an instance of LangChain. So let me quickly explain what that means. So in simple terms, LangChain is a framework that's designed to help developers or anybody build an application that leverages large language models like ChatGPT or Llama or other different models. And the goal of LangChain is to make it easier to integrate these large language models into different tools, applications, and workflows. So it just makes the usage of large language models very, very simple. So in this instance, our text classifier node is an instance of LangChain, which basically utilizes a large language model like OpenAI. In our case, we'll attach our OpenAI large language model to be able to classify a text and process it and label it into something different. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to grab all of the data that's coming in from our Gmail trigger and use this instance of LangChain to connect it to the OpenAI model and classify and label these texts accordingly. So let's go ahead and do that. So that's kind of like an overview of what this instance of LangChain does. So first, what we need to do is we need to figure out what text we're classifying, right? And this text is going to be coming in from our Gmail trigger, right? So therefore, the text to classify, we're going to go ahead and make sure you're in schema, and we're going to grab our text, which is going to be the body of the email, because we want to make sure that our classification occurs from the body of the email and not the subject or anything else, because if somebody's sending you a lengthy email, you want to make sure that this text classifier goes through and analyzes the body of the text, the full body of the text, understand what this text is about or what this email is about, and therefore provide the proper label that we're going to categorize in a little bit. Okay, so from the schema, we're gonna come down and grab our text right here. So, minimize the headers and everything else so that way it's easier for you to locate this. So we're gonna come down here on text and we're gonna grab this and just drag it here. So this is going to convert it into JSON.text. Again, inside these curly brackets, these are all the JavaScript code. But again, we don't have to worry about it because we're just using this schema to just drag and drop. That's it. Okay, so the next step is to add our categories. And this is exactly where we will add our labels. But before we do that, let's go ahead to our email account, right? So this is where you're going to be creating your labels first. So let's go ahead and create our predefined labels. And this could be dependent on what you're doing, whether it's your business or your personal account. You can create whatever kind of labels you want. But for mine, I'm going to go ahead and create several labels. The first one, I'm going to create a label that's sponsorship. And again, these are all of the email inquiries that are coming in my account for my YouTube channel for sponsorship. So I'm going to make sure that I identify the body of the emails that are coming in and make sure that if it says anything related to sponsorship, that label gets automatically added. And we'll do that in that category section right here in a little bit. But let's go ahead and create all of our labels first. So another label I'm going to add for collaboration. I'm going to add one for business inquiries. Okay. And I'm going to add one more and just call it others. So this is going to be all of the emails that are not classified or labeled as these three. I'm just going to say others. All right, so now that's done. Let's go ahead and actually color code this. So if you come to the right hand here and you just say label color. So for business inquiries, I'm going to choose, let's say, this green one. And you could always add your own custom color. So if you go here, you can add a custom color. You can add the background color and the text, but it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna use this predefined ones, all right? So for collaboration, I'm gonna do orange. For others, I'll just leave it as that. And then for sponsorship, let's go ahead and label this as this green color. Okay, perfect. All right, so we got our labels now on our email account. Now we're gonna go back to our N8N workflow. So here, this is where we add our categories. So the first category is going to be the sponsorship category. So I'm just going to click on add category and we're going to do sponsorship. You can just say sponsorship inquiries. For the description, I'm going to say emails that offer or inquire about sponsorship deals from YouTube channel, blah, blah, blah. And again, you can always maximize this and take a look at this. All right, so that's that. And you can use ChatGPT or something to come up with these descriptions because you want to make sure that you have really good description here. So that way your text classifier can properly understand and capture all of those important details that are inside the email. So that way it can distinguish between these different categories that you're putting in. So make sure your description is really thorough. And again, that's depending on what category you have. All right, so that's done. So I'm gonna add another category and I'm gonna say collaboration with companies. Okay, so for the description for this category, I'm gonna say emails from AI companies or related businesses that are interested in collaborating on projects, tutorials on content creation for the channel. So you can see it's very thorough because we wanna make sure that our AI agent is properly, or this text classifier is properly classifying and adding the proper categories. Okay, so the next one I'm going to say business, actually let's do general business inquiries. Okay, I think I spelled that wrong. Yep, inquiries, there you go. So for this one I said emails that pertain to general business related topics not specifically related to sponsorship or collaboration, such as inquiries about the channel, requests for information, and other miscellaneous business communication. So that's good. And the last one, I'm just going to say others. And then a description, I'm going to say all other emails that do not meet the description of the previous labels. Okay, so we're pretty much done with all our categories. Again, you can add whatever categories depending on what you're trying to do. So once you're done with that, here, this is a little bit of an important step. I think there's something going on with this particular node that if you don't select this option for system prompt template, and just, you can leave this as it is, but make sure that you select this and this gets activated. Otherwise, it's going to give you an error that the node does not recognize the proper parameter. So make sure you're selecting that. Okay, so let's go ahead and test this step. I'm going to click on test step. It says a model subnode must be connected. Oh, I forgot to connect this. All right, so let's go ahead and connect the model first to this, right? So as you can see right here, all of our categories have been established here. So now let's go ahead and attach a large language model to this. So I'm going to click on large language, or click on the model and grab our OpenAI chat model. Create your account. If you don't have already an account, go ahead and select that and create your credentials by adding your API keys. I'm going to select GPT-4 Mini because I've noticed that GPT-4o is very expensive when it comes to API calls. So that's good to go. All right, so now let's go ahead and double check this. First, let's go ahead and send an email so that way we can make sure that this is, because again, this is monitoring all of the incoming emails that are new. So let's go ahead and do that. So for the subject, I'm going to say partnership for content. We're not monitoring the subject, so it's not going to matter. What this classifier is monitoring is the body. So we got to make sure that we put the proper text here to be able to categorize this. So I'm going to go ahead and add, hi, would love to sponsor your next video on a no-code automation. We believe our product aligns perfectly with your audience. Let's discuss the details. So this is particularly an email that's for sponsorship purposes. So our systems should automatically recognize this and label this as sponsorship right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and send this. I'm going to go to my inbox. So I sent this email right now. As you can see, it's just showing inbox. And again, that's because I'm using this search. There's no label on it, right? So let's go back to our workflow. So now all of this is done. Let's go ahead and test this step, and it should be able to recognize that a new email has come. And there you go. So as you can see right now, let's double check to make sure that the email came through. Hello, we're interested in sponsoring your upcoming tutorials. Please share. All right, that's good. So let's see what it did. We want to make sure that the label is properly done as, all right, there you go. You see, it says in sponsorship inquiries branch, one item. Okay, so that looks good. All right, so now let's go ahead and add another node that will automatically label our email that's coming in our Gmail account, right? Because right now this is just classifying it, but there's no way for it to label that email. So therefore we're going to add another node to this, a Gmail node, so that way it has access to our email and therefore is able to label that. So let's go ahead and click on the plus button here. I'm going to search for Gmail, and this time we're gonna go to message actions and we're gonna say add label to message, right? So we're gonna click on this. Here you want to make sure you're in the, again, you're selecting your proper Gmail account. The resource is gonna be the message, not the label. This is gonna be the message that's coming in, and the operation is gonna be adding a label and the message ID. Okay, so this is where we need to grab our message ID from our text classifier, right? So if you take a look at the schema here, again, all you have to do is just grab this ID and put it here. So now the label name or ID, we need to identify which label is this going to, and this is where this node is going to have access to your Gmail account, and therefore it should be able to have all of the labels listed here. So let's go ahead and select our sponsorship. There you go, right? Because this is our sponsorship node. All right, that's good. Okay, so we're pretty much done here. Let's step outside and drag this here. Let's add our other labels. So I'm going to click on the collaboration tab, same thing. Actually, instead of that, a shortcut is just to copy this and duplicate. There you go. Grab this. Give myself some room here. Double click. Add label, JSON.id, you're going to leave it as it is. And this time, instead of sponsorship, this is going to be for collaboration. Okay, that's good. Make sure you're attaching the correct category to the label that you have here. Okay, otherwise it's gonna have an error. Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna go ahead, oops, duplicate. That's good. This is gonna be for general business inquiries. Okay, so I'm gonna say, let's select our business inquiries. That's done. And the last one, I keep forgetting. The last one is gonna be for others. Let's connect this to others. There you go, that's done. To organize this better, or to make sure that we're properly labeling this, I like to rename these nodes so that we understand what's going on. So let's go ahead and rename these. So I'm going to click on this. This is going to be for our sponsorship. Okay, rename out, that's good. This one is for our collaboration. Rename, done. This one is going to be our business inquiries. Rename, done. This one is going to be others. Perfect, done. Okay, so all of that is good to go. So now let's go ahead and actually test this thing out. So this is the first one. As you can see right here, it says one item. So this is the message that we just sent right here. Partnership for, I misspelled partnership, I said. But anyway, so this is the one that was supposed to be for sponsorship. And this already got executed. That's why it says one item. So let's go ahead and test this out. So I'm going to click on test step. This should label this email in my Gmail account as sponsorship now. So let's go ahead back to our account. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this. And there you go. So now, as you can see, the sponsorship label has been attached to this email that came through. All right, perfect. So that worked. Let's go ahead and test the others too, because I want to make sure that all of this is working. So let's go ahead and send another email for collaboration this time. So I'm going to go ahead and type for the subject. I'm going to say AI tool partnership. Hi, we're launching a new AI tool and would like to collaborate with you on a demo video. Are you interested? Okay, so that's clearly a partnership email, right? So our tool should automatically recognize that and should label it as collaboration this time. So let's go ahead and test this workflow again. So I'm just going to click on test the workflow. So if I click on this time it should come here. And perfect, there you go. So now it says one item, collaboration. This went through. So let's go back to our email and refresh the page. And perfect, there you go. So this time it says AI tools partnership. Hi, we're launching a new AI tool. Would like to collaborate with you on a demo video or interested. So it correctly labeled it. So let's go ahead and test the other ones too, because I want to make sure, like I said, everything is working. So this time what you can do is, instead of testing the workflow, if you just click on inactive here, so this will activate this workflow, meaning this will automatically monitor your inbox every minute and therefore automatically label all these different emails that are coming through. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna send another email. This time it's going to be for business inquiry. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm interested in learning more about your services and pricing. Could you provide more information? So again, this is clearly a email that has the body for business inquiries, right? So because our N8N workflow is already live, so it should be able to automatically label this. I mean, it's going to take a minute or so, because obviously here our trigger is saying that we're going to monitor, it's going to monitor our Gmail account every minute. So therefore it should take, oh, there you go, it came through. So it says, and it correctly labeled this as business inquiry, right? Inquiry about your channel. Hi, I'm interested in learning more about your service and pricing, blah, blah, blah. All right, perfect. So again, this is live right now. So let's go ahead and try one more, because we want to make sure that if it doesn't meet any of these categories, it should be able to label it as others. So let me go ahead and type another email. Just wanted to say thank you for your tutorials. They have been really helpful. So I'm going to click on send. All right, the message is sent. So now, like I said, we'll just wait and it should come through, and it should automatically label this as others because, like I said, it doesn't meet the category for any of these other three. Therefore, it should label this properly as others. So let's go ahead and wait a little bit. All right, there you go. Oops, it said business inquiries. That's a wrong label. Let's see what we did here. Maybe wait a minute. Let's see what we did wrong here. So if I test the workflows. All right, so let's go ahead and click on this. And see, this is where I made a mistake. So it's the label name. I put business inquiry. This should have been others. So if we go back, and where's others? Right here. There you go. That looks good now. Okay, let's try this again. So this time it should, let me test the workflow. Should go here. Perfect, that worked. Let's go back. Let's refresh. All right, great. There you go. I mean, the reason why it has two labels is because it already labeled this as business inquiries because we made a mistake there. So let's go and get rid of that. Go back. This time, let's try it again. Let's try it again. I just wanted to say thank you for your tutorials. They've been really helpful, blah, blah, blah. It's good. Click on send. This time it should label it properly because, again, our mistake was earlier I had put business inquiries for this other label in the category. So let's go ahead and wait for that to come through. So let's go ahead and refresh, and perfect, there you go. So it worked now. So as you can see, all these labels are now working according to what we identified or what we categorized here. All right, well, hopefully you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, or if you wanted to see any other videos, any other agents that you want me to build, do tutorials. I'm always looking out for really useful agents that we could build using N8N because N8N is a really good tool. I have some ideas on doing more tutorials. Obviously, I'm planning to do more of these. But if you have anything in particular that you would like to see, let me know. If I can do it, I'll do them for sure. All right, thanks for watching. Please make sure you're subscribing and liking the video. That really helps out our channel. Stay tuned for more. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.